was like, I
What were you saying? Everything.
No, I was just saying, boys, like this is easily the best part of the show. And for me, everything else from this point is downhill.
Really?
100%. I watched the results. I followed the sports, Betcha Match Ups, all of it. I hate it. Off
Shaun,
it.
I called Shaun yesterday. He didn't even say hi. He goes, I'm not doing the show tomorrow.
Oh, there's a genuine
I'm
chance
not
of
coming
like
in
leaving you
tomorrow.
guys on scene and not showing up.
I'm not talking shop here with you, lad. I don't care. I'm not coming into the show tomorrow.
Enough's enough, gentlemen. I have a prelude question, or actually a statement for you, which I wanted to just explore a little deeper. Studies reveal that the wealthiest people are in long-term relationships.
Shaun.
I reckon double-edged sword. I don't quite know where I sit on that one. Because, by golly.
You could be way richer.
There's often times where I look at what I'm doing and I'm going, yeah, look, smarter things I could have done with my money. But then on the flip side,
at the house?
on the flip side, it's like, look, if I am going to spend my money, you do want to spend it with those that you love. And, you know what I mean?
The perfect circle right there. The
is.
perfect circle.
Yeah. So, well, what's your guys' take on it?
I'm single and broke, so that makes sense to me.
Matua, you've been in the longest relationship?
Yeah, well, you know, I've probably got my wealth because my wife is so successful. So
There you
go.
Let's give our partners our flowers, eh?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's get into the show.
Let's go.
Play on.
Round 2.
My mate to the left here. One heck of a career you've had, man.
To be able to be in this space, announce my retirement.
Okay, let's go.
LeBron James, a shot at history.
And the Panthers have done it again. 4 premierships in a row.
A black wave pouring through Paris 2024. Back to black. New Zealand champions.
Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
6 of the best from Auckland FC.
We need a halfback.
I'm not playing.
I'm in, baby. I'm in.
Play on.
It's always good to be back, baby.
It is.
Welcome back to another week of Play On, where we review just some of the matchups that happened over the weekend. We're just going to have a quick deep dive into those ones, but always shout out to our sponsors, Betcha. Bet it out with Betcha.
Frank Energy?
Come on, Shaun.
Just power? No fluff, guff, gimmicks.
You actually got it. That's incredible.
Yes, boys.
And finally, big shout out to Gatorade. Sweat, embrace it, replace it. Remember, we're doing our Gatorade pop-up series where we come out to the communities. We bring the Gatorade, we bring the energy, and we inspire teams to wins. Do we have a perfect 100%? No, we don't.
No, we lost last week.
We lost last
We
week.
lost at the netball too, I can tell you that much. Our pride, our dignity, and lungs.
Everything. So thank you to our sponsors who help us keep the show running.
Absolutely. What is on the show for us today? We're going to review some of those games that happened over the weekend. I want us to take a look at the greatest sporting achievement to you, like a greatest performance that you've ever seen, because Artie Savia over the weekend, Tony Johnson's just talking about, man, this might be the greatest performance I've ever seen on a rugby field.
Yep.
I asked the boys to do a little bit of homework. We got that on the show. Marc, what else we got? Origin week, eh?
It's Origin. Well, the teams have been named.
Wow.
The teams have been named. We have a New South Wales squad for game 1. We've got ourselves a Queensland squad for game 1. We're going to do what's called Frank 'em, where we rank them. We're going to go player for player. Shaun is our resident rugby league head. He's played before, believe it or not, and he's going to tell us who wins each matchups. And then by the end of that, we should find out who wins game 1.
Okay. All right. I think if you two are got somewhat of a tie, or you think you've got a tie to these states, Matua, you said pre-show that you've got connections to Queensland. Brook clearly believes he
New South in your
is
mouth.
New South through and through, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I just like watching them bash each
We need
other.
to talk about that a little more too.
I shall do my very utmost to offer.
Well, you've played against most of these players.
Yeah, I'll offer just insight from that dynamic. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well,
Sweet.
that's more than we can offer. So
So I'll take the passion out of it, right?
we'll keep you, and we'll bring the passion to it. Hey,
go.
speaking of passion, this is a weird segue. I don't know how I've ended up here, but you passed your wife. And she played, I don't know how I got there, but my brain started working and I was going to say it. And she played netball in the weekend.
Yes, she
Shout out
did.
to my sis, man. Shout out to Kay.
Yeah, so Kayla, like I mentioned when I probably wasn't meant to mention, She got the
Yeah,
call.
did you get in trouble for that?
Yeah, did you get in trouble for that?
No one listens to the show, boys. No one even said a word about it, so that's nice. Kayla didn't even listen to the show. She didn't pick up on it. So
It was
she
two
had
days
enough
later
loss.
that I heard it breaking on the news, and
Yeah.
they thought they were real clever for breaking it. And I was like, oh.
Here we are thinking we got a platform that will break the news. But nah, yeah, went out, took the girls out to watch Kayla, got back from Oz, and straight out there, Pullman Arena out south, watched the Stars take on the Tactics, and it was an unreal game of netball.
It was.
It was such a good game of netball, and Mila's 100th game, which was really cool to watch.
Stars were paying $5.
Stars were heavy outsiders, right?
Yep.
And put up a really clinical performance. Like, man, they looked good. Considering what they've gone through that whole week, the adversity they had to face, like dealing with the heartbreak and hurt of some of their best friends, their sisters that had obviously hurt themselves, parking that, looking forward, accepting new players coming in with Kayla joining the squad and just getting stuck into their work. So really cool game to go watch. So proud and just still scratching my head on how Kayla's able to do it.
Yeah.
Seriously, like last week she's playing social netball. This week she's
Hey, don't take nothing away from that social netball. buddy.
if you get out and watch a legit game of netball, yeah, you will be taking a bit away from social netball. How dare us ever think that we could belong on that court or compete with those girls? So really cool moment for our family. One that I know the girls, loved being a part of. And
I watched the full Mystics Pulse game, and because I'm fascinated by the
pizza,
2-point shots now.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge change up in dynamics, but I don't think teams have quite worked out how they're going to use it yet. Do you know what I mean? Like the 3-pointer in the NBA is now the most dominant kind of
Change the game.
thing.
Yeah.
Everyone goes down the court and gets a 3, and if they can't, then they'll try and pull it back out for another 3. Netball isn't using it like that yet.
no, so do you know that they can only go to a super shot last 5 minutes of a quarter?
Oh, only the last 5 minutes.
Only last
I
5
didn't
minutes,
know
okay?
that.
So that's why they don't just roll down there. And then it was interesting. I watched the game last night where it was super shot, and yeah, you want to see him take 2
We
pointers.
be watching netball, all right?
We're watching netball now, but if a team's up by 10, like watching them chip away and just happy with the ones,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yes.
watching and just fueling off, because 2-point shots more of a risk, and then they get rebounds, go down, and then they just going up in ones while you're taking the risk of taking 2. So seeing how that
Strategy, yeah.
dynamic plays out, different game-like situations.
But you know what I like, though?
Kayla actually said, she's like, man, they needed to introduce this
Absolutely.
so long ago. Like, it is going to do wonders for the sport and getting new spectators on board.
Because you could be down 10 in netball and watch it back in the day and be like, this game's over.
It's over.
The second quarter, this game's a wrap.
Now it's not, man.
Now you feel like, okay, we can.
Yeah.
At any point in this game, you can come back and win it. It's
Yeah.
actually, Marc, you're like this. Just going back to Kayla really quickly before we move on. Her first 3 seconds into the match, she injured someone.
Oh, yes.
Straight Charlie horse to the knee.
Oh,
The grub's,
wow.
the grub's back.
The grub is back.
I swear.
there
First
should-
3 seconds,
Bush
Marc.
League.
We should have gone to Betcha with a wager on how long it'll take Kayla to get called for a contact.
3
Seriously.
seconds, lad.
It was crazy. When I
the
actually said to the
aggression's
crew around
aggressive.
us, I go, yep, there she is.
There she is, back in there.
Shout out to Kay. All right, let's do it, eh?
Let's get into it. This is our Betcha review. This is what we thought would happen, and this is where we ended up. Let's start off in matchup.
Damn, that's a lot on my face.
Number 1. Yeah. Look at the season. Let's just take a time to just absorb the season there. Brook taking out the first 2 weeks. Shaun, you've got like this habit of like looking like you're about to launch the comeback, and then Brook stamps it out, and then you come back in, and then Brook stamps it out, then you, and then Brook.
I'm happy to stay mute for this whole segment. So
No, that'd
just
be good, 'cause
Get
you-
to whatever
you
you got to
haven't
get to, and let's
offered
move
much
on.
in this so
I
far.
reckon today's a very quick show.
It is a very quick show
Let's
if we're
do it.
looking through the matchups. Let's go with the Pacific Force Series, and this was in Christchurch. Of course, the Black Ferns in Canada. Now, I didn't actually realise Canada is second in the world ranked.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that they
That's
were
what I
that
remember I said
highly
last week.
touted.
Now they can play some rugby. Like
Yeah.
they are legit. They're legit good.
I knew England and France were up there, but I hadn't realised Canada was up there too.
Let me pull back the veil a little bit. I call Shaun. He goes, "You are fucking kidding me, Canada, Canada." I said, "Brother, it's gonna be a long week for you, man. It's gonna be a long, long week for you."
Well, you didn't exactly lose it. We're drawing this one, 27.
Well, you didn't
both
win it.
picked it, so that was your pick, Shaun. You had gone, and then Brook. You took the Warriors.
Up the Wires.
Once again. However, I've got the scores run the wrong way.
That's
Don't get excited by
crazy.
that. The Dolphins the Dolphins did not win that game. That was 16-12 to the Warriors. That was a game too, boys. That was a game.
So many takeaways, eh? Shawnee, you must be proud of Lukey at the moment. Sitting
I
up
see
top of Dally M's.
Dally M?
Like,
Okay, maybe I won't stay mute. Okay, maybe I won't stay mute.
You know,
I can't help it. You know, got to give the boys their flowers.
and the shadows, you could say, for the last 2 or 3 years, kind of playing behind you before you wrapped it all up. And boy, is he taking this roll on with 2 hands and just run through the front door.
Yep, he's going really good, and so are a lot of other boys in that team.
Yeah.
Now, Lukey will be the first to say that he is unable to do what he's doing without the platform that is being laid for him right now, right? And our forward pack, a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
Just getting after Aaron Clark.
Aaron Clark, bro.
Like, brother, seriously.
You are the man.
He is so good. So good. We've spoken about him in the last few weeks, but it's for Luke and his growth in the number 7 jersey, can you guys remember, and I just want to take us back to round 1.
Yes, I do. I know.
Can we do
Take
this?
us back there.
Where he was just getting shots left, right, and centre after round 1. I had to sit in this chair and say, I cannot believe I've got to sit here and defend.
You did. I'll
Like,
give you that.
Now look what we're doing. Now look where he's put himself. All right? So things take time, and believe it or not, he's actually nowhere near where he can his game can possibly sit.
I like that.
No, he's not.
What other things is he going to?
Well,
what other things
just time
haven't we
in the
seen
saddle.
yet?
It's
do you
time in
think?
the saddle.
Yeah.
It's time in the saddle. Like his ability just to pop up at the right time at the right place has been the strength of his game. He was doing that when I was playing 7, he was playing 6. Go back and watch some of the tries he scored. Like,
Here I am.
He's got that in him, right? That's the strength of his game. Now, the fact that he's been able to bring that back into his game when the first maybe 6, 7 rounds sort of he went away from because he had to steer the ship a little bit more, focus on last plays. Like, he went from kicking the ball 3 times a game to now he's kicking it 12 to 15 times a game. Like, there's so many adjustments that he's made, and it's so impressive to see him make them in a short span of time. But I guarantee you, he's not content or happy with where he's at. He's breaking down film. He's looking at areas in his game where he's like, yeah, man, like, I need to be better there.
Yeah.
Like,
Do we see? Are we thinking that we see Lukey's evolution turning to a point where he's got several game plans in the back of his head, and he just is able to manipulate whatever one they need to move forward?
100%. He'll get to that level.
These kind of driving.
That's when the game slows down.
And if I was Lukey, the game I'd be modelling my game off as a Jerome Hughes.
Yeah.
That's where
not
I'd
bad.
be looking. Like, Jerome is the best running halfback in the competition.
Yep.
Yet he's steering the ship of the best team in the competition, in my eyes. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to look at a halfback's complete game, he's a current Dally M Player of the Year. Like, he's one I'd be going, man, I love the way he does things, and I know my game can be somewhat a mold of that. He's not trying to be Jerome Hughes. He's going to be Luke Metcalf, but in a roundabout way, there's assets to his game that I really love.
Yeah,
What are some of the biggest gaps in the assets do you see in the likes of a Jerome Hughes, who has been a Dally M winner, who is driving the best team around? Where are some of the things that Luke would look at and go, I've got some of that, but this is something else I could really improve in?
Yeah, look, I again, because I can't go against coaching,
Yes.
and Bellamy's coaching style compared to Webby's, I don't know. They're different, they're the same, whatever. Messaging heading into a game is completely different. There's a lot of talk at the moment around, like, why don't they contest on last plays all the time? And there's method to that, why teams don't do it. Some teams do it. So I can't say that distinctly, but what I know with Jerome is if he sees an opportunity, no matter where he is on the field, he will take it.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if it's inside his own half. He doesn't care if it's play 1. He doesn't care if it's play 4, 5.
What do you call it? Eyes up.
It's eyes up footy. You play to the cue. No matter where you are, you back, and he's got a coach that backs him to do that. Now, where the Warriors are at and building this tough game model that's put them in second position on the ladder and only 2 losses, is that Lukey Met probably has seen a few opportunities that he might want to take. But because of the angle and the team first mentality, he's just kicking the ball into the pocket.
Yeah.
He's just playing the percentage plays at the moment.
But we'll get there.
But we will get there, like he will get there. So that's what I'm talking about with that, right? But can we actually talk about the real thing here, boys? The knock on.
Bro, that's what I was waiting for.
Let's talk about the knock on.
Good.
Who cares about the detail?
Absolutely. I was like, bro, can we talk about this?
Everyone blowing up. Lukey Mick deserves his flowers. Dally M, love it, all right? But I don't care. I love the knock on. And everyone blowing up and whinging. Frank Energy moment. Give it to me. Woo!
Yeah, I'm sitting up with you.
Oh, Frank Energy moment. Knock on. Knock on, they reckon. I didn't see a knock on.
I didn't see a knock on either. I've seen knock ons for the last 25 years. I didn't see a knock on in the
There was
weekend.
nothing there. Nothing to be seen. Play on, baby.
We finally get the rub of the green.
Rub of the green like you wouldn't believe, man.
It wasn't a knock on anyway.
It's crazy. Like, I don't know what's happened this year, whether you got to earn your luck or whatever, but I don't know. We are getting more calls than we are not, and I ain't mad about it. And if you want to whinge and moan, oh, Shaun, you're so biased. Get off there. Nah. I don't care. Go back and watch some of the shit that we've been put through over the years.
That 4 pass that we had.
Prelim 23.
Come on.
When we're in the thick of a game to get ourselves to the grand final.
Bro, he
Reece
passed that.
Walsh.
Passed that
Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh wants to throw that thing like Tom Brady.
Bro.
What? Who
threw
was
that-
whinging then?
He threw that on Saturday and landed on Sunday.
Okay, do not complain. It's a part of the game. Play on, baby. Play
Come
on.
I'm glad you said it too, because I've been feeling that type of, oh, we got another one. Woo!
I love
Oh, we
that.
got another one.
No, that's so good. It's,
Oi, crank that way.
I feel like every
We're
Warriors
protected.
fan feels like vindicated right then and there.
We're protected by Frank there, eh?
Yeah,
Like,
here we are.
We've waited so long for this feeling.
Oh my god.
Like, we have waited 26 years or whatever it is.
It is
for
funny
this
though,
feeling.
like they do say you earn your own luck, right?
Yeah, but
and
come
we are in these games, and we have been finishing games in really tight games. That's the kind of example that.
Now we're outside of that little event.
Yeah, true.
Like, one, you missed the knock on, two, you missed Chanel Harris Tavita offside, so it should have been.
We'll take it
Good
though.
lord, and then we scored off the back of it. But hey, play on.
we
Play on.
earned
Nothing
that
to see
karma
here.
over the last 25
Hey,
years.
I was Stevie Wonder up there.
Here. All right, let's get into sports matchup number 3. And Brook,
Yo,
you know what? Your friend Shaun decided that he would back the Blues. The Blues had won in the past. The Blues were the big brother. But it wasn't to be on Saturday as Moana Pacifica rolled forward 27 points to 21. And what has been described as Adi Savea's greatest performance by Tony Johnson. That to me inspired. Well, that inspired all of us to give our
Check out for a bit.
later on in the show our greatest sporting performance we've seen by an athlete later on. But what a victory and
knocking at the door, baby. That was
perfect
great.
way of, I guess, sealing that match was to find out earlier this week that Adi Savea is named player of Super Rugby Pacifica with still 2 weeks to go.
And he's missed out like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
The fact that he has that already, absolutely incredible. Obviously, we love the story. There's clearly 2 teams in the 09 now. There's a bit of drama going on with the boys in terms of like social media and the teams jumping on board. And I wouldn't say drama is the wrong word, but like smoke, which is fun. You know, like the teams are talking back and forth, which I think we can all kind of get around. It's all in, I think, good spirit. But man, what a performance from Adi Savea. That was honestly one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but incredible. What I really enjoy, maybe just selfishly, is kind of like the birth and the origin of that story started here, like we're in the studio that we're sitting in right now. So, hell of a story. They're going to get the Chiefs this weekend, which is tough, but man, what a story. I don't want to say saving rugby in New Zealand, but sheesh, it might be close to that.
I think the Moana Pacifica storyline, and I think this is something you can reflect with too, Shaun, whenever you're feeling it. But we said early on in the show that New Zealand rugby needs to get around the Moana Pacifica storyline, that this is a really important one, that it reflects a lot of what is being played on a Saturday morning and what's happening there and what's happened to it with Super Rugby. It's added some absolute spice. It's added it because most people don't like Auckland anyway at the best of times. And to know that there's another team in the 09 that is challenging now for them,
Sold
that's
out
great.
games, man.
And we're not belittling it. Like, there was a time when Moana Pacifica couldn't win a game. Now, they're a win away from beating every single New Zealand franchise that there is.
Yeah, tough this
and
weekend,
there's
though,
Australian teams that have never done that, and they've been in the competition for a longer time. You know, a full sweep of New Zealand teams this season is a great achievement.
The people are behind you, Moana.
Yeah.
People are behind you. Well done, man.
A
That's
wonderful
incredible.
win indeed. All right, let's move through to the footy, and that was matchup number 4. It was the A-League semi-final, Leg 1.
Pick your phone up again. Go back on your phone.
Go back on your phone, Shaun, because Brook took Auckland FC, and Auckland FC went to Melbourne Victory and picked up the first leg win. I was told later on in the piece that there is no aggregate goal in the Australian League. So there is no such thing as scoring away gives you more advantage when you come home to play again. So there it is, Auckland FC 1-0 over Melbourne Victory, and Brook picks up that. That means that there will be a sold-out Mount Smart or YOUKNOWMEDIA Stadium for the return leg, and Auckland FC will have to put a goal in.
When is the return leg? Is that this weekend?
That is this weekend.
Saturday?
Yep.
Wow.
But it's really late, isn't it?
Man, because Warriors are out there on Sunday, so
Sunday,
they're going to
yeah,
have
it's
to
a
turn
real
that
quick
bad boy
turnaround.
around real quick.
It's a real quick turnaround. Just
Yeah.
for the story, though, congratulations. Like, Auckland FC, just to come through and completely own the first season potentially be in the
bro.
in the final.
But they're one game away from the finals now.
Funny, I
Like,
really
it
thought they
almost
won
feels
the
like
thing.
half a game away because they've got one goal up.
Right. And so to come in and just completely own a league, I don't know when that's been done before. There's, like you said before, teams search for this their whole entire franchise's history.
Yeah.
They came and made it look like mincemeat. So,
What does it do for Wellington Phoenix supporters?
Oh, we don't need to worry about that. What's up next?
No, I'm just thinking. Like,
Nah, it hurts.
yeah, it would, right?
It burns.
I hope it, like, okay, yeah, it would burn. I would say, I hope they find the good in it, just because it's such a good story. But I understand if you're a fan and you've waited so long, and yellow fever does get a little crazy down there as well. Like, yeah, it would sting.
Hey,
But this story is great.
Hendo's just made. There's only 1,000 tickets left to that FC game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well done.
Holy heckers!
Good
Only
job.
They've
1,000
extended
tickets
it
left.
too, so I believe they put the extra stands in, which will make it around 30,000 people.
Really?
at Go Media Stadium.
So back-to-back sellouts at Go Media Stadium this weekend.
on.
6 p.m. on
Is
Saturday
the
night.
Warriors crowd going to look a little bit second fiddle
Well,
to what
technically-
Auckland FC is about to pump out then?
If
Nah.
they've got the temporary stands up, then I'd imagine they'd be available for the Warriors game on
Because
Sunday.
the Warriors game is a sellout.
Yeah, they sold that out like a week ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. But anyway,
Anyways.
support your teams. I love it.
Moving on to the final matchup, sports matchup number 5. It was the PGA Championship, and we were looking for Ryan Fox to make the cut. Shaun, you said he would, and you had success. Ryan Fox finished tied for 24th at the PGA Championship, and it was one of those games, one of those, I guess,
Rounds,
tournaments or
yeah.
rounds that he got into a stonking start, and then
Yeah, he started hot. He was 4 under after day one.
That's crazy. Good job.
And I think he went obviously took a little bit of a back set from there, but he even par around round 2, and then over the weekend just fell away a little bit. But Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler, bro. God damn. But like for Foxy, that's a couple of really good weeks for him. Like really good weeks. So just cool to see him establish himself on that stage, like to come off a high of winning his first PGA Tour event, to back it up, get an invite to a major, and then make the cut where there was some notable names that didn't make that cut that were playing really good golf. So it's a really tough golf course, real challenging golf course in Quail Hollow. But yeah, Foxy, well done, mate. Good
Well
couple
done,
of weeks.
Foxy.
Proud of you.
Well done to Brook. He takes out this week, which does mean, Shaun, that we are adding an extra hour onto the 24-hour stream, making it a 20 for your punishment at the end of this season. That's a 25-hour stream now, watching 2011 Grand Final over and over again. However, in the last 2 weeks, you will get a chance to take 2 hours off if you can win those weeks.
He's getting a little hot under the collar. You better watch out now, Marc. Gonna throw something at you.
Play on.
MVPs. There was an MVP over the weekend.
There was.
His name was Adi Savia.
Out and out MVP.
Adi Savia was absolutely incredible.
Have we seen someone like this? Like,
Never.
I don't think I remember a rugby season being dominated by one person so much. He dominated too in Japan. I remember when he was playing for Kobe and he came back.
Yep.
He dominated the Japanese league. There was all the highlights coming back and forth.
Absolutely.
Now he's here doing it in
Boys,
Super.
that clip that TMS put out around him
Adi?
saying they think I'm going to be less of a rugby player by signing with. Damn, that hits a little
It
different
does,
now,
right?
doesn't it?
It does.
It's a little different now.
So add that pressure that he's played the whole season in. He's been right in the mix of you have to perform every single night that you play out there. We don't just expect you guys to play anymore. We expect you to win. And he hasn't just matched expectations. He has exceeded expectations.
Well done,
Now,
Adi.
Tony Johnson is a long-time broadcaster here in New Zealand. He would have commentated the All Blacks. He would have commentated over. I'm just going to chuck a number out here. 1,000 Super Rugby games. I don't know, but I feel like he does.
It fits the bill.
Yeah. So he has seen a lot of performances. And Tony Johnson's words were, this might be the greatest performance I have ever seen.
Right. Yeah, that's a beautifully put statement, because I said pre-show, like, you say ever, like just ever in general, that just opens up a can of worms that you can never really, but for him to say that
In my eyes,
in my
in
this
my
is
personal
just
experience.
which is a really cool statement, right?
Absolutely.
So I love where you're going with this. Love
So
it.
I asked the boys, I said, this isn't a competition. And it's not. Okay, it's not a competition, but I just said, can you bring forth what you think is the greatest single performance in sporting history? Now, I wanted to do mine justice, and I told the boys, I pre-recorded this, and they're giving me a hard time. I haven't shown them this yet, but I just wanted to do it justice. So my greatest single sporting performance goes to Steph Curry at the Olympics. Here's what I have to present to the table.
MVPs, please indulge me. Why not relive greatness just one more time? Now, did I record this on my phone? Mind your business, because to witness an athlete transcend a sport, any sport at the highest level is a privilege. Give me one more glimpse, one more chance to savor the brilliance. With just over 2:50 left on the clock, a 3-point margin, the chef started to cook his masterpiece. Big fella, allow me to have this dance line drive bucket. And it begins. The fourth quarter is pure drama. Why contest? You can't defend destiny. There's a maestro on the court letting the world know, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Oh yes, we're in Paris. Oui, monsieur. Batum makes the 3. Oh, you can make a shot. I can make a shot too. Please hold my beer. Every possession is a story. We going 2-man game with the 2 greatest players this generation has seen, Steph and LeBron. They switch that. Curry sees the double coming. Durant back to Curry. Fournier doubles again. Curry finds Durant. Booker goes baseline. Throws it back to Steph. Fly by. Bucket. You know what we say. Hand down, man down. He's the Whitney Houston of the hardwood, making impossible look effortless. Oh, we're in Paris. Le Bleu ain't gonna go down without a swing. Wemby hits the 3. It's back to a 6-point game. Gold medal on the line. Now strap yourself in for the greatest heat check this game has ever seen. Curry to Durant. Durant back to Curry. The double comes again. Curry shucks up a prayer and it's answered. You know what time it is. Night. Put the kids to bed. In the biggest moment of them all, the Olympic gold medal match, Steph Curry delivered an exhibition that belongs in the pantheon of sporting legend. Night.
The greatest performance a sporting superstar has ever put forward, Steph Curry, in the gold medal match, put the world on notice.
Well
Steph
done.
Curry,
That was impressive.
That was
you
nice.
get
My boy.
my greatest sporting performance.
Well done.
Actually, shout out to Hendo. He actually put all that together and made it
I
way better than
I
it was.
do love the effort. Now, I can't cop certain elements of what we've just watched, but I do love the effort. And I actually love hearing my boy talk basketball. He needs to do it more, so I do support that. That was hot to listen to.
Shout out
that
to
was.
Hendo. He made that way better than it actually was. I
But
genuinely recorded that on
My
my
boy,
phone.
Brook, you, like, Matua.
I mean,
Okay, let's just hit it off the top here. Well, let's roll with ours, eh?
Yeah.
That's impressive. By the way, that was one hell of a performance by Steph Curry.
that was. I didn't actually realize he had done that. That was how close it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear
well,
Lord,
I
didn't
actually
watch
thought,
that.
to be honest, my one little gripe at that, little gripe, is that I actually thought they were behind when he did that.
Yeah.
The fact that they were never behind there's a completely different element.
It was
okay?
like a 2-point game, and then he went on that run.
Yeah, and then they were up 7-9. So like, it's fine. It's still an unbelievable performance. Not taking anything away from it, but I actually loved. I got to say more. Well, you need to talk basketball more on that.
Yeah.
We got our MVPs want to hear that chat more.
Oh, no,
Okay.
Thursday's gonna be a long show. Then I'm about to break some stuff down.
Yes, mate. Yes. Okay.
But
let's
less
get into it.
performance. I'm really about to break it down X's and O's for you.
Now, I apologize, guys. I don't have video of this.
I don't either.
So I'll
didn't
just
either.
narrate what, in my eyes, is the greatest individual sporting performance I have seen.
Okay, I'll close my eyes.
Okay? None other than one Nathan Cleary.
Oh.
Okay?
Hold on, Marc.
Shaun.
What
Right.
the hell, Marc? Get off his nuts.
Nathan Cleary, the 2023 Grand Final.
I
Now, what shapes the greatness to this is the adversity. It really is the adversity because, one, they find him, and him in particular, Nathan Cleary, misses 2 tackles that leads to 2 Broncos tries.
Yep.
They find themselves in a 16-point hole on the biggest stage of them all in our world of sport, the NRL Grand Final. Okay? So,
I heard that.
I guess to add to this, the adversity, what he does in the final 15 minutes of this game, he does without his right-hand man in Jerome Luai.
True.
And his go-to guy in the middle of the park, Isaiah Yeo. Okay?
They were both off?
They were both off.
Shit, I forgot that.
Okay? HIO to Yeo, shoulder to Luai. Makes what he does over the next 15 minutes off its head. Okay, let's run through it quickly. First try he puts on, he shows and goes. All right? Puts Leota over under the sticks.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yep.
Skips up, pumps the ball, fend, through, draw and pass.
Leota and Fish were
Leota
incredible.
under
Yep.
the sticks. All right. Okay. Then you're going, all right, geez, there might be a chance here, but how? You know, how are they going to do it? Following off the back of that, Cleary goes, you know what? We want the ball back. I'll just kick a 40-20.
That's right.
Okay. Wooshka, get a 40-20 in here. Have some fun with that. Following that, orchestrates a set for a try assist to Stephen Crichton over in the corner. Now, remember, off the back of that, how important every conversion is. Slots it from the sideline.
That's right.
Okay? Now, this is where it just becomes, dude, you're on the table of conversation with the all-time greats now.
Yep.
You've just fully cemented and established yourself as a future Hall of Famer, all right? And a discussion amongst the greats of the game, okay? 76 minute, decides, you know what, I'm going to do it myself this time. A short side play where they overstack numbers, cuts back off his left foot, slices through the middle, scores under the 6, kicks the goal, wins in the game. Okay, now I'm sorry I don't have video overlay, but for an individual to put on that sort of performance with the weight of the world coming down on him, pretty much purely off the back of what will be written if he doesn't do this, off the back of letting in 2 tries, missing 2 one-on-one tackles, crucial one-on-one tackles. Like, he's the main guy. You could imagine the stories that would have got written following
Brisbane
it, right?
was flying too.
Brisbane were flying. Ezra Mann scored a hat-trick
Yeah,
in the
momentum
space
was
of
all
10
there.
minutes to lead into this passage of play.
right.
So, like, the adversity and where their heads would have gone, for him to collect them collectively and him individually to bring it back, straight back on process. Like, you've never seen a side have to deal with so much adversity in a short span of time and go on a run like that to win
When
the
the
grand
lights
final.
are the brightest.
Their 3rd grand final, which was at the time something that hadn't been done. Okay, so Nathan Cleary for me, in my lifetime, is the greatest individual sporting performance.
That's awesome. That
Right.
man, yeah, and you know what? I remember watching that game, and it brings back that same feeling of how has this player, like, single-handedly turned this final.
Yeah.
And look, I know it's a team sport, but there is something, and I guess that's what happened with Artie. He's single-handedly, his energy has led to others lifting their game, and
Yeah.
it just felt like that's what Cleary did as well.
Yeah, that 40-20 off the back of that first try.
That's what no one really talks about.
That was just like, dude, you're a dog. You are purely going after this contest right now. And to me, that really did set him above a lot of other names in our league over the years.
All right. Well, I actually feel a little selfish because my the way I've gone about it is why it was such a big moment to me as well as the player. So I don't have any visual cues either. I didn't realize we were competing in this.
Yeah, either.
But I will. I'll give mine a go.
Oh, he's put a bed. I noticed there was no bed for mine, but that's crazy.
In the annals of sports history, few stories resonate like that of Tiger Woods. An icon whose trajectory mirrored the rise and the fall of mighty empires. The day was April 14th, 2019. I was working at Radio Sport. But this day was different. This day, I didn't just witness a sports victory. I experienced a resurrection. PGA golf had almost become too predictable. Courses were forced to change layouts because of him. But that journey, it did come with plenty of personal scandals, injuries, and losses that stripped him of his former glory. Almost a half a decade of Tiger drama left him at the mercy of doubt and despair. I remember I found myself connected to Tiger. The older crew at Radio Sport, they loved to see Tiger's troubles. Tiger was an uncomfortable fit in their sport. It gave them great satisfaction to scrub his name from the leaderboard each tournament. But in the heart of Radio Sport, a flicker of hope remained. As the 2019 Masters commenced, whispers echoed through the pines.
Take me there, Marc. Take me there.
Could Tiger Woods, after years of heartbreak, reclaim the magic? With each round, my anticipation grew. Fans began to rally, believing in that impossible. because the impossible was within reach. Round after round, Tiger displayed this resilience. On the 12th hole, a moment of brilliance. His tee shot soared, landing just inches from the pin. The roar of the crowd was deafening, a symphony of hope and nostalgia. It was funny because younger players, I remember this, younger players were being interviewed, and this was the first time they had experienced peak Tiger. They had started their careers during his downward bit of a spiral, but this was a moment for them to experience what everyone else on the tour had experienced for so long. It was peak Tiger, and the level of golf fan, as they began to believe, went through the roof. This wasn't just about topping the leaderboard. This was about the journey. Tiger represented to everyone something deeper, a reflection of struggle and perseverance. As Tiger approached the 18th on the final day, the weight of this moment was palpable. The crowd, like nothing I'd ever seen before in a golf event at all. This was not merely a championship. It was accumulation of years of hardship, a testament to the human spirit. And then, gentlemen, it happened.
But here it is. The return to glory.
The return to glory. Tiger Woods, against all odds, was a Masters champion one last time.
Yes!
On April 14th, 2019. This wasn't just a Masters victory, it was a masterful redemption. And as Tiger Woods hugged his family and friends, I remember it, as he walked towards the clubhouse, you got the sense he had emptied the tank for one last ride.
I never thought we'd see anything that could rival the hug with his father in 1997, but we just did.
That was great, Tiger.
That will be the greatest scene in golf forever, Jim Nance.
And that hug with his children, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, if you're a parent, you're not human.
No, the whole euphoria of everything. The patrons, his emotion, the chanting. We will never see anything as exhilarating as that. Fantastic. Congratulations, Tiger.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
You know what? As was I, the world was reminded why we fell in love with sports on that day. The thrill of the impossible. The power of hope. In the tapestry of sports, few achievements can claim the title of the greatest. But on that day in April, amid the hallowed grounds of Augusta, Tiger Woods etched his name into my greatest sporting performance I had ever seen. A reminder that greatness can rise from the ashes.
Well done, lad. Not to be, I missed the second half of that. I fell asleep, but but good.
Honestly,
Good.
Shaun, you would have seen it. There was so much to that 2019 Masters. He was a write-off.
Without a
before
doubt,
that.
it's the greatest sporting moment I've ever witnessed. Tiger's 2019 Masters run. All right? That beautifully narrated, Matua. A beautiful beard.
It was a nice
I
beard.
thought the whole tone to your message was just spot on. And I think you've got my vote. You got my vote.
No,
not that it's a competition.
It's not a competition.
But yeah, we can celebrate all these great sporting moments. Hopefully our MVPs could relate and maybe take them back to exactly where they were during some of those topics we just spoke about. But man, there's been some good ones, eh?
There
really has. So,
And come May 28th, that's Wednesday next week, we might have another one. State of Origin squads have been named. We need to go through them.
Oh, let's do it.
all right, let's get into
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Play on.
All right, lads, Origin just around the corner.
Origin 1!
You ready for it?
I am.
Time to frank 'em. Brought to you by Frank Energy, where we rank
I like that.
each squad for game one. Just game one, boys. All right.
Yes.
I will do my best to offer a really I guess, neutral analysis, sit on the fence and just go personally off what I think will work best in this arena.
What do you know?
Okay, but what would I know, right? Okay, boys, ready to get stuck into it? Who wants to go first? I'm looking straight off the bat. I just want each of your back threes. So for those of you at home don't know, we're looking for a fullback and your 2 wingers. Give them to me. Martor, you go first.
All right, Queensland has Kalen Ponga at fullback, Xavier Coates on one wing, and Robert Toya at in the 3 jersey.
No, that's not how it works, Martor.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
So Robert Toya is a centre.
You want Valentine Holmes?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
There you go.
Okay,
so Valentine Holmes.
You like Valentine Holmes at the wing?
It's not up for you. I don't need you to ask me questions here. You listen to what
well,
I'm asking.
let me give you what I got. New South in your mouth. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Dylan Edwards at the back. Brian To'o on one side. And Zach Lomax will be taking up the other wing's position.
Okay. So here's what I've got. Fullbacks. Edwards workhorse. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. But I think in this arena, I'm going to go Kalen Ponga. I think he gets the nudge there. So that's one up for your back three over there, Martor. Xavier Coates versus Brian To'o. I'm going Xavier Coates, more of an aerial threat. Now, Brian To'o is a yardage specialist. But after watching Xavier Coates carry the footy of late, especially in the weekend, he's carrying with some dog, which is big rig, big frame. I think he plays both ends of the field a little bit better than Brian To'o does.
Brian To'o
is like, he is fresh off an injury, I think. So he's only one game in.
He's bizarre.
And it's same with Zach Lomax. Same with Zach Lomax. Now, look, I'm just giving you my insights,
mate. Just throw his nickname in there and say that's the reason.
That's where his education is coming from. I like his nickname better. All right, Zach Lomax is also a gamer now. He is built for Origin, Zach Lomax, okay? Mm-hmm. So I think him up against Val Holmes is the most even matchup out of them all.
Know anything.
Okay, I'm going to go in that battle. I'm going to go Zach Lomax.
Fair enough.
So 2 of the 3, I'm going to go. First rank on the board is to Queensland.
He's also just come back from injury too, hasn't he?
He has, but come back from injury and ran 25 carries over the weekend for over 200 metres, so let's not even question that.
That's fair.
Now, your centre pairings, boys, please, hit me with them.
All right, let me use Robert Toya in this position, and I've got the hammer.
Yep, you got the hammer, and who else?
And Robert Toya.
Okay. All right, who have you got in your centres? Yourself?
Let me start with the Critter.
Yep.
And then next to him, Latrell Mitchell.
Okay, that's a walk in the park. We're going New South. Light work, okay? I don't even need to get into that. Come on now.
Thank God.
All right, your halves, please. Let me know your halves.
Cameron Munster at 6, Daly Cherry Evans at 7.
Okay.
Oh, I do like those.
Okay, who have you got?
Cute. I got Mitchell Moses on one side. And arguably the greatest, in your words, the greatest to ever play in that position, Nathan Cleary.
Yeah. Now, I think this is going to be a big series for Cleary.
I've got some things I want to say about this.
This is the only arena that they hang over his head with his greatness.
Yep.
And it baffles me because I'm like, bro, it's not even the biggest arena. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to go there anymore.
Yeah, anyway, you won World Cups, but let's hang the Origin arena over here. Okay, sweet. Anyway, won competitions 4 in a row. I'm going to go Cleary. Right, no, it's 50-50 actually.
It is,
It's 50-50. It really is. It's split down the middle because Munster and Origin, Cherry and Origin, they're completely different players. Obviously, Moses is the 7, and he is being shifted into the 6 more on a running role, so I do like that move. I think that balance is really good. Moses' running game is so underrated, and we're going to get to see that in this series. So I'm going to call that a split.
That's fair enough. Can I just to your point, let me get a little bit geeky here. I've been doing some research on this running game.
Yeah,
Everyone is talking about the running game. The running game of Mitch Moses, which, don't get me wrong, is an incredible running game. But the most underrated running game in the game of rugby league actually belongs to Nathan Cleary. Let me give you some stats. All right. Before they became this dynasty that they are, he would run around about 80 to 86 meters per game. 2021 comes around, Nathan Cleary becomes a runner. From 2021 onwards, he runs about 110 to 130 meters per game. That's when the dynasty comes. That's when they become the final boss. That's when his absolute brilliance, the class that we see, the control of the game, the management of the game, the kicking is so superior. But we forget about this man's running game. And it is going to be the underrated part of this series. And Nathan Cleary's running game, not Mitchell Moses, is the one thing everybody needs to look out for. I've said it.
Okay.
I've said my piece.
So I've gone 50-50. So there's one there, and one in the middle. All right. Can we go with your starting front rowers, please?
Oh, let me see who I got.
I've got Moeka Futuaki
Fotuaika.
Sorry, Fotuaika. And I'm trying to find my other...
Tino.
Tino. Big
Fa
Tino.
Asua Mala Awe. Hopefully I got that right.
I'm happy.
All right, let me talk to you. A man you know very, very well.
Yep.
Plays for the Wales afterwards.
Yep.
Mitch Barnett.
Okay.
That's on one side. And then the man who just can't be stopped, the powerhouse at the back, Payne Ride Your Horse Haas.
Ooh, I'm going to go New South. New South with the better starting front rowers. I think Barney's versatility, his movement, the workload. Actually, you know what? Let's throw Payne Haas in there because he's almost a scarier version of all of that. So 2 really mobile, physical front rowers where Barnes will bring that intent. You know he's going to shoot out the line on the first carry and try to snot someone, you know?
Yeah.
He'll set the tone. So nothing against Motueka, but I just don't know if he can stack up against those two. Okay,
Yeah.
Tino's him.
Tino is him.
Yeah, Mo is a really good player. Obviously, be selected for Origin is very impressive. He's a gun player, but I just think there's a little bit more with the New South Wales front rows. All right, boys, packing in the rest of the scrum. So I want your 2 back rows and your number 13s, please.
Cotter.
Okay, Ruben Cotter.
Yep. Nunai and Jeremiah
Yep.
and Patrick Carrigan.
Okay.
Is
So we
Carrigan
got
playing? Just
Cotter,
on the
Nanai, and Carrigan.
mouth injury? He'll be playing now.
Well,
It's a
let's
lip
just go
injury.
off what's listed, okay?
Yeah, it's a lip injury.
It was a gruesome one. You see it though?
Yeah,
Yeah, because there was whispers around Payne Haas too in his quad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
there is.
Okay. So
Yep.
go. Who
Good
you
point.
got?
Yeah, let's not worry about that then. I have, packing it down for me, I have Liam Martin.
Yep.
Workhorse. I have Angus Crichton. Hello. And then finally, my skip, Isaiah Yo.
That is a gangster back row.
Hello.
Yeah, simply put, I'm going to go New South Wales in the back row department too, packing in the scrum. Now, Cotter at back row, I think, can be really efficient. He is an out-and-out footy player, and defensively, more so. If they've done that to put him on Moses, or even Cleary, to be fair, to stop what we just went to with both of their running games, he's going to be hard to beat. His leg speed will stop you getting right into the line. His leg speed will actually stop you from burning up and trying to, create overlaps. So I think it's a really good move defensively to put Ruben Cotter there.
Yeah.
But look, you got two unreal back rowers in Martin and Crichton, who are proven, who are both dogs. And Martin in particular, he's going to go after the contest physically. He's going to be with Barney, front row seats flying out at dudes and taking dudes' heads off. So
Loves the bright lights.
yeah, look, I'm going to go New South in that. So
you locked that in?
I'm going to lock
Can
that
I
in.
say my one worry now that it's been locked in is Cameron Murray's not there this year, and I thought he was incredible last year. He was a pinball. He was just, whew, he was into everything, and you're kind of playing Yo out of position. You know, he's a generational player at lock. He is the skip, but playing at 13 is different. So, you don't think he's a generational player?
I don't think he's playing out of position. He's won 4 comps playing that position.
At 13?
That's what he does, mate. What position do you think he plays? Hang on, let's not go into this. I don't want to embarrass you even more. Let's move on. Can you guys give me your benches, please?
Can we go hooker first? Because I really feel like I've won this one.
Okay, hooker, go on.
Harry Grant at 9.
Yeah,
Who's my hooker?
exactly. Harry Grant. Okay, we're going Harry
Reece
Grant.
Robson.
Yeah, we're going Harry Grant.
All right. Number 14, I've got Tom Dearden.
Yeah.
At number 15, Lindsay Collins. At number
we're on the
16, Fermor.
Yeah.
And at number 17, Trent Lero.
Okay.
I got
Benches are gonna be
Max
so
King,
important.
Campbell Graham, and Olakawatu.
You got one more? There should be 14.
Oh, Stefano. I don't know how to say his name. Last
Yeah.
name. Stefano.
Pass me a phone. Gosh, you
How do
two.
you say his last name?
Freaking rookies. I thought you guys both support these states. You should know your team. No, you got Connor Watson there, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young. What are you reading?
I was reading the subs.
Oh my God,
I thought
bro.
we were there already.
Okay, just for everyone at home, this is what I'm dealing with, all right?
Oh, I thought the team here name was subs.
Remember when I spoke to you guys
Sorry.
about like
You're
having to
starting?
create a rugby league show?
Those
Yeah.
are your starters?
Here is why.
Yeah.
Okay, here is
God,
why,
those
guys.
are your starters.
So the bench for the Blues is Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young, and Max King. Pretty good bench. And what do you got? Tom Deard and Lindsay Collins. Man. You know what? After watching Spencer Leniu play over the weekend, holy heckers. Dude
He's
is
good, man.
built for Origin, eh?
Yeah.
What the
He's got no
heck?
handbrake.
He don't know what a handbrake is by no means. He is slowing down as he enters the line. So I'm going to have to give the bench on that premise alone to New South. So I guess overall, if you wanted to frame this, it sounds like I'm going with New South for game 1.
Yes.
Okay? I think they win it. Where is it being played? Suncorp, eh? And there's something about playing at Suncorp. There's something about the Queensland spirit, which is something that cannot be, like,
underestimated.
It can't be, man.
It can't be quantified, right?
That speech after the 2020 series or 2021 series when Terry Evans said, so on behalf of the worst Queensland side in the history.
That was nice.
Thank you very much, right? Mic drop. So, look, whatever it is.
So they're praying.
There's genuine hate there. You know they're both going to go at it, but I think at the end of the day, I think New South Wales might just have a little bit too much for them.
Love that. And we've had probably a little bit too much for this segment, if I'm being honest. I didn't come prepared, neither did Brook. But Shaun,
what
thanks
was
for
that?
carrying
You
it.
two told me about this.
Yeah,
What?
Frank
me in their boat.
Frank.
Over here thinks frickin' Isaiah Yo is in a frickin' generational playing ball.
Do you know what's funny about that? I
13.
actually asked someone else for some advice, and they wrote me that.
Oh, wow.
Trying to impress your
I'm not
friends.
even going to say who it was, too. I think I got wrong what
We're not running any league chat
was
back
gonna
ever on
say.
the show.
No, no.
Because that person who told me is qualified. So I apologize that I got your message wrong.
Hey, that's it for another week. Gentlemen, we'll be back on Thursday. We will have our matchups ready, and we're going back out into the community for another Gatorade pop-up. Cannot wait. We will see you come Thursday.
Play on.
Lamborghini. Look at the speed! Shaun Johnson! Aguero! It's over! Pass is intercepted at the goal line. In your life have you seen anything like that? Elliott hits it up for the grand slam! And New Zealand are in the World Cup final!
Play on. Play on. Play on. Play on.